what's up, Al? This is a demo video for you for 3 of your sabers. I've got your Corbanth Darksaber right here. I've also got your pair of Thrawn Hunters from KR Sabers. So you've got your Sheen and I've got your Shoto right here too. We'll go over these last. All 3 of these sabers, there is several disassembling and then reassembling to get some things back. So there might be a few cuts in the video as I do that, just to not bore you to death as I'm taking out screws. All right, but they're all installed with Proffies. All 3 of them are 1-button setups. All right, and then each of them also have a singular sound font on them to represent the theme of the saber, although the Shoto and the Sheen for the Thrawn Hunters have the same sound font. All right. What you want to do here, and I'll leave it on camera the first time I do it, is take off this screw right here. All right. When you take that off, that's how you get to your chassis. So we'll take that off real quick. Be careful when you take it off because there is 3 separate pieces. You'll have the screw, there's a nut, and then there's a little black piece too. This is like that's a 3-piece assembly. If I can focus on that right there. All right, so be careful with those. Those are small pieces, but once you take those off, your pummel will come right off. You can see your chassis in there, just like that. There's a place for your thumb right there. Just take your thumb, go like that, and pull it straight out. Just be nice and gentle with it. Pull it straight out, and it will come out just like that. And then this is what your chassis looks like. So you got your Proffie board here. You do have a kill switch right here. All right. A removable battery setup. So spring side over here for your negative. A singular switch right here. So that's your tactile switch. This has the PCB and pin system that come with the saber that match your blade. And I'll also light your blade up, obviously, so you can see everything. And then you have a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost speaker right here. So this guy's super loud. There is a particular way you need to throw your battery in. Now, I'm not sending you any batteries because you told me you had plenty and there wasn't any need to. All right. But the battery that you use for this saber will need to have the keep power sticker taken off of it. This is a keep power battery. I just took the sticker off. And then also you'll need to pay attention. If I can get it to show up on camera, you can almost see it right there. Right underneath the wrap of every battery, keep power battery, you have a metal strip going from one side all the way to the other side right there. And you can kind of see that in the light, but you'll definitely see that in person. All right. You'll want to make sure that's outside of the chassis. All right. And what I mean by that is, I'll put this in and I'll show you. I actually have it lined up to where it's going straight down the middle like this. And that is to save a little bit of room and make this chassis a little bit easier to take in and out. All right. So that's where I've got it lined up straight down the middle of this, pointing straight down. You wanted one sound on here, one boot font, or boot sound rather, when the saber turns on. And it's this guy right here.
This is the way.
Din Djarin saying this is the way. So that's what you got every time. So if I flip this on again,
this is the way.
That's what you got. All right. Now, to put this into the saber, you want to make sure that your tactile switch right here is on the same side pointing up as your switch right here on the saber. It's very important. Otherwise, it won't fit in right. All right. So we'll go like this. Put it in. Take your time. Be gentle with it. It is a tight fit. On every single one of these that I've done from Corbanth, or this saber in general, really, and you push it all the way in there until it stops, by the way. While I'm putting this pummel on, I'll talk about it. Every single one of these that I've done has had a little something on the machining about in the middle of the inside of the handle that makes the chassis not fit properly. I think the very first one I ever did didn't have that. And that's the one I modeled the chassis after, and then every single one of them after that did. So what I had to do is I have to take this out to the garage, use a round hand file the inside of this saber all the way around. I probably spent about 10 or 15 minutes doing that. Then some steel wool and some green Brillo to try to buff it up and get it all one singular diameter, because there's just a little bit of a change right here. It almost looks like a seam if you were to look in it before I did that. All right, so a lot of modification to the inside here to get this to fit in. Before I do that, the chassis doesn't fit at all. I mean, it goes about halfway in and it gets stuck. After I'm done, it fits in all the way, obviously, because it's in now. Put the pummel on. I come and put that piece back on. And now I can come over here and hit activation. So you got your smooth swing. Blaster bolts is just tapping. This is a very loud saber. No twist off for you. You have to hold the switch down. And it turns the saber off per your request. This is a very loud saber, but if by some chance you want it even louder, you can take this pommel off. You'll see this cap right here. It's held on the inside with a single Phillips head screw. You could take that black cap off. It'll open that up a little bit, and it will sound even better. But in my opinion, it sounds fine now. Very loud. We'll turn it off. We'll put your blade in. So you've got 4 screws. You've got these 2 screws. Turn it around. You got these 2 screws. You need to loosen all of those and get them out of the blade socket. All right, so we'll do that real quick. You don't have to take them all the way out. Just a few turns will do. Get all 4 of those out. Now you'll notice your emitter is at an angle, and so is the vinyl that's on your blade. So you don't want to put your blade in like that. That angle doesn't match. All right, you want to put it in like that. You put it in like that, it goes in exactly how it's supposed to go. You'll feel it bounce on the pins. So you want to hold it down and go back and tighten those 4 screws. Okay, those are your blade retentions, all 4 of them. And I would suggest using all 4 of them, depending on how much you want to swing this around or your kids want to swing this around. All right, so we'll tighten all these up. It's not too bad. Now once those are tightened up, again, we can come over here and hit power. This is a live action Darksaber blade style from Fett's library, so it matches this blade exactly how it should. Try not to hit my ceiling. I have an angled ceiling right here in front of me. Ignition. If you want blade lockup, you have to hold down the button and hit the saber. You can see it in person, but it's a little hard to see on camera. And it will stay locked up until you let go of the button. In person, you'll see it move up and down the blade according to how you move the saber. All right. So we'll turn that off and we'll take the blade out. And that is your Darksaber blade. And then we'll go over real quick, just taking the chassis back out. Because the chassis is a little bit tighter with a battery in it. That's why we made that battery in a certain orientation when we put it in the chassis before inserting it into the saber. Okay. So again, we'll come back over here and we'll take this off real quick. The same Allen key is used for everything. So your blade retentions and your pommel. All right. I'll take this off real quick. Slide our pommel out. You might be able to see in there. I said it was a singular Phillips head, but I think there's actually 2. You can see 2 right there. So you can take those 2 Phillips head screws out. They're very small. That will release that black cap, and that will open it up for sound even more. But again, we'll come over here. You see your chassis. Take your thumb, pull it out. It will be a little bit tighter, so just take your time. You'll get it this far. You can come over here and grab it. Usually put it up against my chest so I can make sure I'm pulling straight out. Not hard to do, it's just a tight fit. All right, and then you can turn it off from here.
This is the way.
I'll turn it on, and then we'll flip the kill switch so you see it kills everything. And now it's on, right? So we come over here, and it kills everything like it should. And then taking the battery out from the positive side over here by your speaker. And that is how you do that. So that's pretty much your Darksaber. We're going to put the chassis back in here for now. Gently push it back in there. Come over here and we'll lock the pommel down. I'll put these small pieces in here so I don't lose them. and then we can go over the sheen and the shoto. That's how quick everything's put back together, and it's good to go. All right. Now to take apart the sheen and the shoto, you take them apart in the same way. They are removable batteries, but they also have recharge ports. Due to the fact that you want a recharge port anyway, this should be perfect setup, and you'll only have to take the saber apart once each one to put a battery in. Then of course you can recharge it from here. I noticed that you had these very cool resin printed kill keys that have the Ahsoka symbols on them. They are very cool, and on the shoto, it's not hard to take out or spin, but on the sheen, it is very tough to get that out or to spin it because you have this lump right here. Normally, when like for instance, if I'm doing the master chassis on these guys and they come with kill keys from Goth, the kill key for the sheen will be a little bit longer than usual, so it's easier to grab. But this is a standard length kill key, and that's why it sits flush up against that piece and can be a little bit difficult to take out. So just be aware of that when you're messing with this guy. Okay, if you can, wherever you got these, I might reach out to them and see if they could make you one that was just a little bit longer so that it would be easier to either twist it or take it out. All right, because this guy's pretty tough. I have to do it with a pair of tweezers that you'll see here in a second. But anyway, they're both set up the same. To get to the chassis where you can put a battery in, you want to take this screw out first. So we'll take this out. This will take off the speaker grill. Now it'll expose your speaker. You have a 24 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost speaker on both of these guys. All right. Then what we'll want to do is we'll come over to this panel and we want to take off this screw. Not the one where the switch is at. Okay. It's this guy right here where the panel's at. And you probably know what I'm talking about already because you had one of the chassis in the Saber, so you had to take it off to do that. All right. But I just like to explain it anyway. We'll take this off real quick. On the longer one, it can sometimes be hard to get the panel off. So what I'll do is I'll take a pair of tweezers and I'll go in from one of the grip sections. Careful not to scratch anything, but just kind of pop it up that way and it comes right out. All right, then you've got your Goth Eco chassis there. You've got your Proffie board here. We'll throw a battery in. The negative side of your battery always goes closest to your Proffie board. All right. We'll put that on. When you're putting the panel back on, first slip it into the emitter piece and then push it down. Don't just try to push it straight down. It won't fit right. All right. And then kind of snap it into place. Just like that. It's a very tight fit, but it'll go. All right, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put this piece back on. These do not have any voices on them at all because you didn't want anything. So there's no boot sounds for this guy. You just take the kill key out or you twist it and it gets straight down to business, right? So it will turn on and, you'll hear the blade and all that. I'll just take this kill key out real quick. Once I get it out, I can come over here and hit power. So yeah, nice smooth swing here. LEDs are firing up, but we'll put a blade in it as well. To turn it off, just hold down the button. Hold it down until the blade is all the way off. If you let go of it while you hear the retraction sound and it's not off all the way, it'll fire back up. All right. Your kit came with 2 of these. I had to unpackage them because I hadn't yet. They are blade extenders for your saber. So when you're actually going to use a blade, you need to use these. There's 2 of them in your saber, or in your kit rather. They're both the same, so it doesn't matter which saber they go to. But all you want to do is just come over here and screw it right on. And it gives you extra blade length. or I'm sorry, extra blade depth for your saber. All right, we'll go ahead and use a long guy. They both take 1-inch diameter blades, and they each have just one blade retention screw right here. All right, so go ahead and throw this in. Lock your blade retention down. My blade is actually a little bit loose in this guy because I have sanded it. So if you have a brand new blade, it'll actually be perfect for this guy. All right, mine's just a tad loose, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So you have a nice, this is technically a silver blade for Ahsoka, but it does show up white. Has a slight flicker on it. Got your blaster bolt deflex, blade lockup. It's right here. Moves out to here. And then when the saber's up like this, it comes down to about right here. You were asking me to pay special attention to the sounds. This font is from Kyberphonic, from Jesse over at Kyberphonic. It's called The Sorcerer. I know he made it straight from the show, so the sounds should be right on point. You've got that ignition sound, and then you've got this, retraction sound right here. One more time. Just like that. All right, so that's pretty much your sheen. Go ahead and take the blade out of this guy. Not sure if you had special blades made for the Shoto or not, or a special blade made for the Shoto, because it does take, a slightly shorter blade. But if you did, it's been programmed appropriately. All right, so, or if you wanted to use full-length long blades, you could do that too. I'll just take this off, put it off to the side so that I can leave your other one all packed up. Now what I'll do off camera is I'll take this apart, take the battery out. Actually, before I take the battery out, let's show you that the kill key works. So your saber's on until we install the kill key, and then it cuts off power like it should. Okay, so remember, try to get a longer one for here if you can. But I'll go off camera, disassemble this, put a battery in the Shoto, and come back and show you how that works. Took this apart, I put a battery inside of it. I just didn't put this in for the sake of the demo, but that's not really going to affect anything. We'll go ahead and we'll put your blade extender in this one too. These both have Carl Chen lit PCBs in them. All right. Like I said, on this kill key right here, very easy to pull out. And then hit power. And then hold down the turn off. Just like that. All right, and we'll throw a blade in this guy too. We'll use the same blade we did on the other one. And just tighten it up real quick. They both have the same ignition and retraction settings, same blade style, so they'll match. It can be hard to see blaster bolt deflex on camera with a white blade, but you'll see them in person. Blade lockup. Right here. Right here. Right. No twist off. Hold the button down. So again, ignite. Retract. Retract, just like that. All right, so I will take the blade out of this guy too, and then break these down off camera, since I showed you how to initially, and I think that you know how to do that anyway. But that is basically your set of Thrawn Hunters and your Darksaber. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, actually I'll show you this kill key works real quick. So on, and then kills it right. If you don't have any questions, what I'll do is I'll package these up and just set them off to the side and wait for you to tell me that you're home from vacation before I send them out to you. All right. Thanks, man.